Are you weak? Remember, we do not have to be smarter than the rest, but we have to be more disciplined than the rest. You must be disciplined in thought, word, and deed. Consciously train yourself to do those things that are good for you. We must all suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret and disappointment in life. People can appear weak when they avoid taking responsibility for their actions, when they constantly seek validation from others, meaning they have no value for themselves, when they are unable to handle constructive criticism, or when they consistently blame others for their own shortcomings. It's important to remember that everyone has moments of vulnerability, and showing vulnerability can actually be a sign of strength and authenticity. So if you don't know yet, these are the 8 habits that will tell you that you are a weak man, so that you can confront yourself and be able to remove these things in your daily life. Number 1. Procrastination of time. Let's talk about something we all struggle with sometimes: procrastination. Have you ever wondered why we put things off, even when we know we shouldn't? Well, from a Stoic perspective, the main reason we procrastinate is that we often get mixed up about what's truly valuable and what's within our control. Imagine you have a big project to do. Instead of starting it, you find yourself watching TV or scrolling through social media. Why? According to Stoicism, it's because of our misconceptions. We might be afraid of failing, think the task is too hard, or simply find these distractions more enjoyable in the short term. But here's the thing: these are just misconceptions. They cloud our judgment and lead us away from what's important. Stoicism teaches us that the only things we truly control are our thoughts and actions. We can't control the outcome of the project, other people's opinions, or even the timing of opportunities. What we can control is our effort and our attitude towards the task at hand. When we understand this, it becomes easier to focus on what we need to do and let go of the fear and laziness that hold us back. Let's break this down with an example. Say you need to write a report for work. You might procrastinate because you're worried it won't be good enough, or you'd rather do something fun instead. But from a Stoic viewpoint, the quality of the report isn't entirely in your control. You can only control how much effort you put into it. So instead of worrying about the outcome, focus on doing your best in the present moment. This shift in perspective can reduce your anxiety and make the task less daunting. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us to value things correctly. Spending hours on social media might feel rewarding at the moment, but it doesn't contribute to our long-term goals or personal growth. Writing that report, however, might be a step towards a promotion or personal satisfaction. Recognizing what's truly valuable helps us prioritize our tasks better. So here's the lesson. The next time you find yourself procrastinating, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself why you're delaying the task. Are you afraid of something? Are you overvaluing a less important activity? Then remind yourself of what's in your control, your effort and your mindset. Focus on doing your best right now, without worrying about the things you can't control. By realigning your values and focusing on what you can control, you'll find it easier to overcome procrastination and stay on track with your goals. Remember, it's all about perspective and making conscious choices about where to invest your time and energy. Number 2, dwelling with your mistake. Let's talk about something that many of us do without even realizing how harmful it can be: overthinking. Picture this. Are you still beating yourself up over a mistake you made last week? Or maybe you're constantly replaying next week's work presentation in your mind, worrying about every little detail. If this sounds familiar, you're probably overthinking. Overthinking can be really damaging. When we dwell on past mistakes or stress about future events, we're not living in the present. This habit can lead to a lot of unnecessary stress and anxiety. Instead of enjoying our lives and focusing on what we can control, we get stuck in a loop of worry and regret. So how exactly is overthinking damaging your life? First, it takes a toll on your mental health. Constantly replaying negative thoughts can make you feel anxious, depressed, and overwhelmed. It's like carrying a heavy weight around with you all the time. Second, it can hurt your productivity. When you're stuck in your head, it's hard to focus on the tasks at hand. This can lead to procrastination and missed opportunities. Now let's look at this from a Stoic perspective. Stoicism is a philosophy that was founded by Zeno of Citium in ancient Greece. It teaches that we should focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. This can be a powerful tool to combat overthinking. According to Stoicism, the past is out of our control. We can't change what has already happened, so dwelling on past mistakes is pointless. Instead, we should learn from our mistakes and move on. The same goes for the future. We can't predict or control everything that will happen, so worrying about it doesn't help. What we can control is our present actions and our response to situations. Here's a practical lesson from Stoicism to help you stop overthinking. Next time you catch yourself dwelling on a past mistake or worrying about the future, take a deep breath and remind yourself of what's within your control. Ask yourself, can I do anything about this right now? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, take action and then move on. By focusing on the present and what you can control, you'll reduce your stress and anxiety. You'll also be more productive and able to enjoy your life more fully. Remember, the key is to shift your mindset from worrying about the uncontrollable to taking control of your present actions. This simple change can make a huge difference in your life. So take a page from the Stoics and start living in the moment. Let go of the past, don't fret about the future, and focus on what you can do right now. You'll find that life becomes a lot simpler and much more enjoyable. Number 3, inability to cope with uncertainty. The inability to cope with uncertainty. This issue can be a major contributor to anxiety and depression. But why does it happen and how can we deal with it effectively? For many people, the inability to cope with uncertainty starts early in life. Maybe you went through a traumatic experience like abuse, the loss of a loved one, or witnessing a major illness. Even something you saw in a movie or on TV could have left a deep impact. These experiences can make us feel like the world is unpredictable and unsafe, leading to a constant need for certainty and control. When we can't cope with uncertainty, it can really damage our lives. First, it fuels anxiety and depression. We become overly apprehensive and pessimistic because we're always expecting the worst. This constant worry can make everyday situations feel overwhelming and unmanageable. Second, it affects our behavior. We might avoid new experiences or opportunities because we're afraid of the unknown. This avoidance can limit our growth and happiness, keeping us stuck in a cycle of fear and inaction. Now let's see how we can use Stoicism to cope with uncertainty. Stoicism is a philosophy that was founded by Zeno of Citium in ancient Greece. The core idea of Stoicism is to focus on what we can control and accept what we can't. This approach can be incredibly helpful for dealing with uncertainty. According to Stoicism, we should recognize that we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. When we accept that uncertainty is a natural part of life, we can start to let go of our need for control. Instead of fearing the unknown, we can focus on preparing ourselves to handle whatever comes our way. Here's a practical Stoic lesson to help you cope with uncertainty. The next time you feel overwhelmed by the unknown, take a step back and remind yourself of what you can control. For example, you can control your effort, your attitude, and your actions. Focus on doing your best in the present moment, rather than worrying about all the possible outcomes. By shifting your focus to what's within your control, you'll find that uncertainty becomes less frightening. You'll also feel more empowered and less anxious. Life is full of unpredictable events, but that doesn't mean we have to live in fear. Embracing uncertainty with a Stoic mindset allows us to face challenges with courage and resilience. So, take a page from the Stoics and start practicing acceptance and control. Accept that uncertainty is a part of life, and focus on controlling your response to it. This simple shift in perspective can help you lead a more peaceful and fulfilling life, free from the constant fear of the unknown. Number 4, seeking external validation. It's natural to want acknowledgement and encouragement from friends and loved ones. When you land that dream job, go on a perfect date, or get a long-awaited promotion, you're excited to share the news with others and hear their praise. This kind of validation feels great and is a common need for most of us. However, seeking external validation can become a problem when we rely on it too much. Internal validation is about recognizing and honoring your own positive attributes, strengths, achievements, and emotions. While external validation comes from others, internal validation comes from within. When you depend too heavily on external validation, you might find yourself constantly trying to impress others or compromising your own values just to keep the peace. In more extreme cases, this need for validation can lead you to ignore your own rights and endure mistreatment just to avoid feeling abandoned or rejected. This habit can seriously harm your life. First, it undermines your self-esteem. When you rely on others to make you feel good about yourself, you give away your power. Your sense of worth becomes tied to the opinions and reactions of others, which can be inconsistent and out of your control. This makes your self-esteem fragile and dependent on external factors. Second, it can lead to unhealthy relationships. If you're constantly seeking approval, you might attract people who take advantage of your neediness or who don't respect your boundaries. This can create a cycle of dependency and unhappiness. Now let's see how Stoicism can help with this issue. Stoicism is a philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium in ancient Greece. It teaches that we should focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. This perspective is especially useful when dealing with the need for external validation. According to Stoicism, true contentment comes from within. We can't control other people's opinions or reactions, but we can control our own thoughts and actions. By focusing on internal validation, you learn to appreciate your own worth without needing constant approval from others. This makes you more resilient and self-sufficient. Here's a practical Stoic lesson to help you rely less on external validation. Start by acknowledging your own achievements and strengths. When you accomplish something, take a moment to recognize it for yourself before seeking others' approval. Ask yourself, do I feel proud of what I've done? If the answer is yes, let that be enough. By practicing internal validation, you'll build a stronger sense of self-worth. You'll become less dependent on others' opinions and more confident in your own abilities. This doesn't mean you should never seek support or encouragement from others, but it's about finding a healthy balance. So take a page from the Stoics and focus on what you can control, your own perception of your worth. Celebrate your achievements internally and appreciate yourself for who you are. This shift in mindset can lead to a more fulfilling and self-assured life, where you no longer need to rely on external validation to feel good about yourself. Number 5, being in excessive materialism. Materialism. We see influencers on social media showing off luxury products, and it can feel like everyone is chasing after high-end cars, designer clothes, or fancy watches. This desire to flaunt material things is based on a flawed value system, where possessions are seen as a way to increase social standing. People often spend frivolously on things they don't really need, hoping to impress others. But here's the problem. Trying to impress others with material things can actually distance us from genuine connections. You can't build a real, warm relationship when you're focused on showing off. Psychological research backs this up, defining materialism as a value system that's overly focused on possessions and the social image they project. This trait can affect both the rich and the poor, and is harmful in many ways. It shatters happiness and peace of mind, leading to feelings of apathy, hopelessness, anxiety, and depression. It negatively impacts your well-being, relationships, and overall quality of life. Wanting nice things isn't inherently bad. We all enjoy some luxuries, and that's okay, but these should never be the main goals of your life. Materialism is a slippery slope that can lead to a lot of negative emotions and experiences. Now let's bring in some wisdom from Stoicism. Founded by Zeno of Citium in ancient Greece, Stoicism teaches that true contentment comes from within, not from external possessions. Stoics believe in focusing on what you can control, like your actions and attitudes, and letting go of what you can't, like the pursuit of endless material wealth. Here's a practical Stoic lesson. Next time you feel the urge to buy something just to impress others, pause and ask yourself why. Will this purchase truly make you happier, or just momentarily boost your social image? Focus on cultivating inner values like kindness, wisdom, and self-control. These are the things that lead to true fulfillment and lasting happiness. So take a page from the Stoics and prioritize what really matters. Let go of excessive materialism and focus on building a life rich in experiences, relationships, and personal growth. You'll find this leads to a more meaningful and satisfying life. Number 6, avoiding challenges and difficulty at life. We all encounter personal struggles, professional setbacks, health issues, or other tough circumstances. While it's not always easy to overcome these challenges, it's definitely possible. In fact, many people find strength and resilience within themselves, seek support from others, and use various resources to get through tough times and come out stronger on the other side. It's important to remember that everyone's journey is unique. The ways in which we overcome challenges can vary greatly from person to person. What works for one person might not work for another, and that's okay. Research shows that up to 70% of people experience positive psychological growth from difficult times. This growth can manifest in many ways, such as a deeper sense of self and purpose, a greater appreciation for life and loved ones, and an increased capacity for empathy and altruism. These tough experiences can lead to personal growth and a stronger, more resilient character. Now let's look at this from a Stoic perspective. Stoicism, a philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium in ancient Greece, teaches that challenges are an inevitable part of life and that we should embrace them as opportunities for growth. Stoics believe in focusing on what we can control, our actions, thoughts, and responses, and accepting what we cannot change. Here's a practical Stoic lesson. When you face a challenge, instead of avoiding it, try to see it as an opportunity to grow and learn. Ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? Focus on taking constructive actions and maintaining a positive mindset. By doing so, you'll build resilience and become better equipped to handle future difficulties. Remember, avoiding challenges might seem like the easier path, but it often leads to stagnation and missed opportunities for growth. Embracing difficulties with a Stoic mindset helps you navigate through tough times more effectively and emerge stronger. So take a page from the Stoics and face your challenges head-on. Embrace them as opportunities to develop a deeper sense of self, build resilience, and grow in ways you never thought possible. You'll find that overcoming difficulties not only makes you stronger, but also enriches your life with valuable lessons and a greater appreciation for the journey. Number 7, negative self-talk. This is when your inner voice is overly critical and pessimistic, always focusing on the bad. It's like having an inner critic that never gives you a break. Negative self-talk can erode your confidence and prevent you from reaching your potential. It can make you feel like you're going to fail before you even start. Imagine you have a big presentation at work. Instead of encouraging yourself, your inner voice keeps saying things like, "You're going to mess up," or "You're not good enough." This kind of talk can sap your motivation and make you anxious, often leading to a self-fulfilling prophecy where you don't perform as well as you could have. Negative self-talk can seriously damage your life. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and fear, preventing you from taking risks and trying new things. Over time, this can limit your personal and professional growth. It can also affect your relationships, as constant negativity can push people away and make it hard for you to connect with others. Now let's look at this from a Stoic perspective. Stoicism, founded by Zeno of Citium in ancient Greece, teaches that our thoughts shape our reality. The Stoics believe that we should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and reactions, and let go of what we can't. Here's a practical Stoic lesson. When you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, pause and challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helpful? Replace negative thoughts with more constructive ones. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm going to fail," try thinking, "I've prepared well and I'll do my best." By focusing on positive and realistic self-talk, you'll build your confidence and resilience. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or difficulties, but rather approaching them with a balanced and proactive mindset. So take a page from the Stoics and take control of your inner dialogue. Challenge your negative thoughts and replace them with constructive ones. By doing this, you'll be better equipped to face challenges and reach your full potential. Remember, your thoughts have power. Use them to build yourself up, not tear yourself down. Now number 8, becoming sheep-minded. This is when people follow the crowd without really thinking about it. It's like subconsciously flocking like sheep, influenced by a small group of individuals. This behavior is often driven by emotions rather than rational thinking. Sheep mentality can be seen everywhere, both online and offline. Maybe you've noticed how trends on social media spread quickly, with people jumping on the bandwagon without questioning why. Or how in social settings, people adopt certain behaviors just because others are doing it. While it's natural to want to fit in, relying too much on herd mentality can be harmful. Following the crowd blindly can destroy your life in several ways. First, it stifles your individuality and creativity. When you're always conforming to what others are doing, you miss out on discovering your own unique path and potential. Second, it can lead to poor decision-making. Choices made on an emotional basis rather than rational thought can have negative consequences, from financial decisions to personal relationships. Now let's look at this from a Stoic perspective. Stoicism, a philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium in ancient Greece, teaches the importance of rational thinking and inner wisdom. Stoics believe in making decisions based on reason and virtue, not just following the crowd. Here's a practical Stoic lesson. When you find yourself tempted to follow the crowd, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this the right thing for me? Or am I just doing it because others are? Take the time to think rationally about your choices and make decisions based on your own values and beliefs. By practicing this, you'll develop a stronger sense of self and make better decisions that are aligned with your true goals and values. It's about finding your own path rather than just following others blindly. Take a page from the Stoics and embrace rational thinking over herd mentality. Challenge yourself to think independently and make decisions that truly reflect who you are. This way, you'll lead a more authentic and fulfilling life, free from the constraints of simply following the crowd. In conclusion, whether it's negative self-talk, excessive materialism, avoiding challenges, seeking external validation, or falling into sheep mentality, these habits can severely impact your life. They can erode your confidence, limit your growth, and prevent you from reaching your true potential. By applying Stoic principles, founded by Zeno of Citium, you can shift your focus to what you can control, embrace rational thinking, and cultivate inner strength and resilience. This approach will help you overcome these detrimental habits and lead a more fulfilling, authentic, and meaningful life. I hope that you learn from this, my friend. Subscribe and conquer the world in goodness.